I mean, the number of episodes pretty much shows it that he's there, kind of thing. So I feel it. I feel it. Moving on to the second person. So this nigga right here, firstly, let me tell y'all. Let me tell you. Let me tell y'all guys. So hold on. Let me see where's the last okay. So the very first time I met this man was on episode 39, which was the Rodio and Promethazine episode. Yes, Rodio, the very, 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 very. Let me see which thing that episode dropped. It was probably shot a couple of days before though, so do not say this is when. I would say maybe because it was shot. It was out on September 7th. I probably met him around September, early September, right before this, because I met him exactly on the day we're going to shoot the episode. What had happened was I was remember 2 episodes back, right before this episode, before episode 39, which is gonna be episode what, 38, 37. Episode 37 was the one with VVS Godly and Promethazine, right? So after that was a different one, episode 38. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna talk about it. So episode 39, I had wanted to probably get what you call to get Promethazine on the episode, right? And just talk to him about whatever. Just give him a solo episode as well, see how that goes, whatever, right? But when I went there, this was actually the first time I was upset because them niggas were late. Them niggas were late. It's the first time I felt upset at thingy for being late. And it was mostly Promethazine because he's the contact here, kind of thing. And I think it was meant to bring someone else, but he didn't or something. Then he ended up bringing Rodio. So now the first time I'm seeing Rodio, I'm like, this nigga looks sketchy, right? Rodio looks sketchy, bro. If you see Rodio on a random day, like when he's in a hood, it really does look sketchy, bro. It really does not look like someone, you get me. So Promethazine, obviously, them niggas, I like their movement because them niggas, all the neighbor worlds people, they always like pushing each other, promoting each other like that. So that's what Promethazine did. It's like, hey, there's my boy Rodio. He can he join us? Blah 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 blah. We're like, okay, we're gonna go with Rodio as well. Now, when I see Rodio, I'm just like, I'm not too sure of this nigga. This nigga, I don't know what Rodio was wearing. This just goes to show that you can't judge someone by how they appear, kind of thing, right? But either way, I'm like, this nigga, like, he was kind of like wearing like just like a skinny jean with like flops and just like that red thing. And he kind of looked dusty in a way because obviously we caught him last minute. He didn't have time to clean up. So that's kind of one of the points. And we're just like, hey, let's go right now. And with Jens, when it's right now, bro. We can't be waiting for you. Now you want to go bath and, So moving on, when we go there, I'm just like, okay, as we're going, and I get to have some conversation with him, I hear, okay, this nigga, when he speaks, you can hear that he's got, some sort of mind around it, whatever. But I'm just like, you know what? We'll discover it on the pod because some things, right, I want to save them for the pod kind of thing. Because when you get to learn someone, sometimes it's more fun when it's on the pod because you learn with the audience kind of thing, and it gets more fascinating because I'm the type of person that when I get fascinated by something, I go deeper into it. So kind of if you have the same ick as the audience member watching it, you're gonna actually learn with me kind of thing. So it's a fun thing. Either way, that's besides the point. The point is that was the first time I met Rodio, and little did I know that this nigga was going to be one of the most important faces of iTalk, for sure. Like, little did I know. Rodio, man. So firstly, Rodio is 5 episodes, right? I legit thought he had more. It feels like we've shot a lot more episodes, but I understand sometimes it's like the length. That's what would make it, feel longer. But Rodio, not only did he bring himself, he also helped get some guests, and it's crazy, it's beautiful as well. So the first one, episode 39, was him and Promethazine. That's the very first time I learned about who they are, neighbors world, this, that, and third. Beautiful episode, I deeply enjoyed it. Then after a couple episodes, but it wasn't so memorable to me, right? That episode with Rodio and Promethazine, right? So later on, episode 47, I feel like for me, this episode was what changed everything kind of thing. So I had hit up Rodio to organize for the episode, probably just me and him, solo episode. Remember what I tried to do with Promethazine and get him a solo episode, then he brought Rodio. So I was trying to do the same thing with Rodio. Then Rodio brings Nkosi, right? We're like, okay, we do have space for a 3-man pod. So if we can, let's do that, right? Brings Nkosi the poet, episode 47, the one of Poets Are Boring, one of the most. Hold on, I just want to check something for you. This episode has 25.5 hours of watch time, and this episode is 1 hour 43 minutes. So it was one. Let me tell y'all, when I talk about, hey, you see what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. When remember I told you of the 3-man pod, the first 3-man pod, how I enjoyed it. That was this episode. Like when we're shooting the episode, I genuinely enjoyed it. Like Nkosi is a vibe, bro. We gotta have Nkosi back on the pod, yo. Nkosi is a vibe, bro. Like if we think about it, and it's just not just about the fun, but the conversations we could have from the different takes. Also, that's another thing I like about Rodio. Rodio is informed on more things than an average person would, right? Kind of thing. So it becomes easier to have different conversations with him. And even if he's not informed, Rodio is curious to a certain extent that he's willing to learn what you have to share. So whether you're going to be speaking about something he knows or something he doesn't know, he still pays interest, whether it's going to be for contributing or for learning, but he still pays interest, kind of thing. And it makes the conversation more vibrant in some way, shape, or form. Either way, that's not the point. The point is we got to have Nkosi back, man, on the pod. We got to have Nkosi back. And then moving on, that was episode 47. Literally the next episode 48, I'm chilling with Rodio. Okay, one thing I remember about this episode was the audio sucked. Why? Because we did record audio, right? We recorded the audio, but then I think that we lost the files or something like that. So I literally had to use the camera audio, right? But luckily, this era was still in the studio, so the audio was usable, because it's not like now when we do guest episodes outside and stuff like that. So the audio was still, usable, even though one of our most viewed clips, let me see something, is actually from that episode with I think that's what I'm just bringing up what I remember about that episode. Hold on. What was it? Hold on. Yeah. The Open Chats podcast plus MT. That's what I was speaking about. It was taken from that episode, and I think there was a Ballon d'Or. That's the first time. Shout out to Freeman. Hey, okay, so yes, I was right. One of the most viewed, the second most viewed clip on the channel, longer clip, is of that episode with Rodio. So yes, the audio was trashy, but I guess people still listen to it, and no one complained about the audio. But when you know how the audio is supposed to sound, when it's supposed to be crisp, and you care about it, because sometimes people just care about hearing what you say and not actually the quality. But it's just like when I can hear that click of the spit in my mouth when I'm speaking on the mic, and I can hear the tone, like, and the voice, like the waves of the voice on the mic, like when you're listening on a headset. Bro, I want you to have the best sound experience, kind of thing, especially when it's in a controlled environment like this. You gotta be able to hear every part of my mouth. No daddy, but like you gotta be able to hear it. Like there's this certain thing that comes with the feel. Either way, if you get it, if you don't, forget about it. Listen, that episode, as much as I didn't like the audio on that, I guess people liked it a lot. On the Ballon d'Or topic, there was a guy we used to work with, Freeman. Freeman asked me, he's like, yo, bro, he used to watch the pod at the time. I don't know if he still does. Haven't spoken to the nigga in a minute, but shout out to him. But hold on. Hey. But he asked me, he's like, bro, are you tapped into soccer? Do you watch soccer and all that? Now, I mean, I don't watch soccer at all, you know. Then he told me there's like this Ballon d'Or. He explained it to me. He's like, one guy was supposed to win, but he never won. So the other guy, whatever. So I was just speaking to Rodio about it, just feeling like, do you know what this is about kind of thing? But yeah. So moving on, after that episode, that was episode 48, right? We go to episode 51. Okay. So this was another dope episode. So in this era, we're still doing heavy promo for Banige by AGS Music. If you haven't checked it out, what are you still doing? AGS Music is taking off over worldwide, international. So what are you doing? Not checking them out. Go check out AGS Music. Something worth listening to. Them niggas dope music. Go check them out. But that time we're still promoting Banige because Banige was freshly out at the time. Well, if it wasn't freshly out, it was about to drop, or either way, it was around that era. You'll remember that era if you've been tapped into the channel, right? But there was a hot day. And that's why Rodio is shirtless. He had to end up taking his shirt. I remember that episode because he had to take off his shirt, obviously, because it was hot, like hot. You know, right now, as I say it was hot, I kind of miss that hotness because this cold is not doing it for me. The sun sets early. Like, bro, what do you mean, man? What do you mean? You see this? Like, I genuinely miss it. But that was a dope episode. That's what I remember about it, though, was it was hot. Then fast forward. So that was episode 51, and that was the last solo episode I had with Rodio, right, as a guest on episode 51. Then we fast forward weeks and weeks later on episode 78, we have the return of Rodio in a 4-man pod, the first ever 4-man pod. And that was beautiful. You know, that pod, honestly, that pod was beautiful because like even how it came about. Okay, so this is what's happening, right? No, you know what? I'm not going to speak about how that one came about under this because I still have to reach Llewellyn's part. So I'll speak about it under the Llewellyn part because that was the main idea kind of thing, right? That was the main idea. But actually, I can speak about it right now because the previous idea. Okay. Let me just explain it so you'll understand. Firstly, this episode was meant to have first 3-man pod in a minute, right? But I just didn't know whether I wanted to shoot 2 separate pods or I wanted to shoot, you know. So the plan was, firstly, who's reliable? Who can I call and I know that they gonna most likely show up for the episode and not only show up, deliver? Rodio, guys, I don't think you'll understand. Like, Rodio, you know, bro, like one day when the pod like does well, we gotta say thank you to all these people, bro. Like, what you mean, bro? Rodio's always pulling through for, like, you know, the pod. Always. Like, Rodio does not disappoint. You know, Rodio does not. No, but bro, I'm telling you, there was a day we didn't shoot a pod. We were meant to shoot a pod. It just started raining out of nowhere, right? And we saw the rain coming. Literally, we were like, it's gonna rain very, very soon. But Rodio's still like, you know what, bro? You wanna go shoot? Let's go shoot the pod. We literally went, and then it rained along the way. And I was just like, no, bro, you know what? Just go, just go. Then we went our separate ways. Then yeah, but. He was willing to walk in the rain for us to shoot the pod. So Brody's dedication is on a different level. So I'm just like, let's get Rodio to come through, right? So second person, I'm like, okay, if I'm going to go out, especially in the morning to shoot a pod, at least let me get 2 pods, right? But then I'm right now I'm speaking about the life lessons episode 78. Yes. So I'm just like, let me go rather get 2 pods. So the first the first idea was we could shoot at Promethazine, but the problem was the last time we had tried to organize a pod, Promethazine wasn't around, so we couldn't really go there. But I then think about the next person, who is Llewellyn. Llewellyn is dedicated. Llewellyn is dedicated. It's just that he slacks a lot. That's the thing about Llewellyn. He is dedicated, but he does slack a lot, kind of thing. And you gotta be dedicated and reliable. That's the perfect combination into, kind of Rodio kind of thing. When I Llewellyn, you should learn from Rodio. In fact, I should timestamp this as I'm telling him to learn from Rodio, and then I just send it to him, and then he watches it so that I don't have to tell him in person. Then yeah, if he can talk about the response instead of me telling him that point when I've already told it to the whole world for him. Listen, guys. So what happened was I then hit up Llewellyn, right? I'm like, yeah, we can shoot a pod. I'm planning on shooting 2. So if you can organize a location, then we'll be good. Then, okay, Llewellyn, firstly, he was late that morning. He was late. Rodio showed up with Leo, right? Addictive, yeah. And then, yeah, we waited till Llewellyn showed up. Then he took us to another place, a friend's house. That friend is someone, when you know someone by seeing them, speaking to them, but you don't know their names or who they genuinely are. Yeah. Because the nigga told me the nigga's name is Then I'm like, okay, I don't know of a Then when I get there, I'm like, oh, it's you kind of thing. Yeah. So either way, we shot. Beautiful episode. Lots of memories were made there. So shout out to that. And I just, you know what, ne? I realized what I love there is that Llewellyn and Rodio dynamic, right? Where one is more serious and more, on the pushback side of things, and the other one is more, free and more, joyous, and kind of like it's like there's this nice dynamic there. I can't explain it, but it's like there's a perfect balance whereby probably Rodio and I would laugh at something crazy dumb, but Llewellyn wouldn't. But Rodio wouldn't give pushback on certain things. Even if he feels like he should, but like he won't give that strong pushback, because Rodio's pushback would be authentic. So if his pushback is met with resistance and an explanation, it's just gonna fall down. But Llewellyn's pushback kind of also has this devil's advocate thing. So if you say the one thing and then he's gonna correlate it to the next thing, that okay, since you say this, how can this, kind of, and then it's like a back and forth at that point. But the dynamic is beautiful. I definitely would like to see more of that consistently. I feel like also if Rodio and Llewellyn could get comfortable and know each other like that, like it would be a beautiful dynamic for the show. In fact, if anything, it would be dope, like as like a genuine, like a pod that we have, a consistent thing that we know, like maybe every once a month you guys are gonna get the 3-man pod with Rodio and Llewellyn kind of thing. But we will see how that develops, because I just love that dynamic. It's just, there's something about it. I feel like it's rubbing off on me. Either way, moving on. So before we move on, Rodio has 5 episodes. That's episode 39, episode 47, episode 48, and episode 51, and episode 78. And then, yeah. final thoughts. Rodio, congrats to you, my guy, for always showing up for your work. And congrats to you for always pushing, bro. Rodio is always pushing. Rodio is always live. Go check out his live streams, actually. You might find them more entertaining. I mean, it's crazy. Random times of the day. You're definitely going to find that entertaining. But listen, Brody has pulled through so many times. And you know what? I appreciate his consistency. I appreciate his love for the pod. I appreciate his efforts and everything he does, you know? And I'm excited as well because there's something that we are cooking with Rodio, right? But I don't want to speak about it, right? I took my pledge of silence. I will not speak about it, you know, because you know me, I like to share. But listen, I will not speak about it, right? I will not be like Rodio and leak it. You know, Rodio, hey guys, Rodio. Rodio, I'm telling y'all, Rodio leaked that Neighbors World songs. Go back to that Life Lessons episode. They spoke about how Southside heard the song because someone leaked it and Rodio laughed. And on top of that, that same episode, Rodio leaked it when I sent him the link, right, for him to watch. But either way, guys, Rodio is a leaker. You all watch Rodio around your stuff that you don't want leaked. Rodio, hey, Rodio. You know what? Llewellyn also, you know what? These two might actually get along when I think about it now. Because Llewellyn had one of my other older unreleased songs that I cannot release because of the content on it. It's not what I believe right now. It's not how so it's kind of like it wouldn't make sense for me to have it as a fresh release kind of thing. So he was like, we should leak it. I'm like, nah, we're not leaking it. But yeah, they definitely have the same mindset. Either way.